Hi everyone, I'm calling this meeting to order at 10:35. Hi. Okay, so with that, we can move on to roll call. And then Amy, you said you could do roll calls right now and then Nick will take the minutes, or if not, we can work something else out.
If no one can take the minutes, I can take notes on my notebook.
I think I can do that. It's fine.
Okay, thank you so much, Nick.
Yeah, you're good. All right, roll call. President Naomi Desiree.
Present.
Naomi's here. Vice President Ramses Galvez.
Present.
Vice President Ramses Galvez present. Give me a second. I'm navigating between tabs. It's, oh my gosh. All right, Kate,
Okay.
Mark Shepard.
Present.
Mark's present. Director of Legislative Affairs, Jacob Couch.
Present.
Director of Legislative Affairs, Jacob Couch is present. Director of Finance, Amarjit Singh.
He is no longer in Student Senate.
All right, never mind. Yeah, I accessed the minutes from October, so that's why he's here. Director of Public Relations, myself, I'm here. Director of Activities, Aman Shafiq.
Here.
Aman's here. Senator David Lee.
Here.
David Lee is here. All right, give me just 1 second, all right? I'm gonna make it easier. Okay, Senator Sulai. Senator Sulai is absent. Senator Rachel.
Here.
Senator Rachel's here.
Sulai is here. Sulai.
Oh, Sulai's here? All right. Then Senator Amy.
Present.
Senator Amy's here. Senator Reed.
Excused absence.
Excused absence. Got it. Senator Stacy.
Present.
Senator Stacy is present. Senator Mary Kay.
Present.
Senator Mary Kay is present. Senator Hamza. Senator Hamza is absent. Senator Beheshta.
Present.
Senator Beheshta is present. Senator Sasha.
Present.
Senator Sasha is present. Senator Afsoon. Senator Afsoon is absent. Senator Oscar.
Present.
Senator Oscar is present. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 15 people present.
Okay, well, quorum has been met, so thank you. Thanks again, Nick. Moving on to adoption of the agenda. If there are no objections, the agenda will be adopted. So are there any objections on adopting the agenda today? Okay, hearing and seeing none, the agenda is adopted. Moving on to adoption of minutes, and they're not on the website yet, but if you are on the Discord server, you'll have seen they were posted in, there's a Student Senate, I don't know what you call that, group? Am I saying that right? Group, and then there's a channel that says meeting documents, and it was shared there. So if you guys haven't gotten a chance to look at them yet, you can take a look, see if you are marked as absent and need it changed to an excused absence later. Yeah. Okay, so if you guys can take a look at that, I think you guys are looking at that. Okay. Well, if there are no objections, the minutes for November 20th will be adopted or approved. Sorry, approved, not adopted. Okay, hearing and seeing no objections, the minutes are approved. Moving on to chair message. Hi, everyone. Okay, well, as you guys all probably know, this is our last scheduled Student Senate meeting of this semester. We can still possibly hold some special meetings during winter break, but you know, it will depend on what we have coming up. I know Mark has something he would like on a future agenda coming soon. So I guess I wish you guys a happy, you know, end of the semester, you know, finals coming up and everything. So I don't have too much to say right now that I can think. I probably will think about it later, like Brett always says. But right now, nope, right now I don't think I have anything. Okay. So with that, moving on to advisor message. Hi, Brett. If you could talk, you're muted.
Sorry, y'all. I'm doing a few things at once here, multitasking. I'm really getting ready for my method acting is what I'm really doing. I do have a few announcements, but first off, aloha, happy Friday. This time next week, you'll be in finals or at least wrapping up any projects or papers, whatever your professors are asking. I've said this a few times, but I don't know how you all do it. Balancing life, school, Senate or CAEB commitments, you know, jobs, whatever else that you do, and you still show up here every Friday. As your advisor, I'm beyond lucky and blessed that we have a full board. You're active, you participate. I know that not every advisor in our state can say that. So I from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. You know, we're gonna be remote again in the spring. So I know you all know this already, but hopefully one day, you know, for those of you returning in the fall, we'll be able to be in person. So I'm going to talk about that in a second. But I do wish you the best of luck with finals and, you know, holiday season. It's going to be tough this year. And then plus, you know, with the rising numbers with pandemic. So wear a mask. Please, please, please wear a mask. Okay, business stuff. Just keep in mind, if you haven't registered for classes yet and you plan on doing so, that you keep Friday at 10:30 open, 10:30 to 12. If you're planning on continuing serving on a committee, especially the shared governance ones that have those kind of locked in times already, please make sure that you're available for those. If a schedule conflict arises, let Naomi and myself know so we can try to work with you, or you know, if we have to find someone else for like a committee or something, that just gives us time to try to figure that out. Let's see, I'm currently watching the Rio College California Basic Needs Summit right now. I know we have a basic needs committee. They're doing their keynote speaker right now with Soledad O'Brien, who some of you may know. She was a news anchor. She's like social justice activist through film. So she directed a film about students in college in like the 21st century. It's really good. So I'm gonna put the link to her movie on the chat here in a sec. Obviously I haven't watched it yet, but it's pretty cool. So she's been talking about it. It sounds really interesting. So Jacob, I saw your thing. It is by registration, or else I would definitely put this link in here and let everyone participate. Let's see, Tuesday was Day of Giving. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, but the Los Rios Office of Philanthropy was heavily involved in that. And they released an email yesterday that $19,000 was raised that day, and that's all going towards basic needs. So it will go between the 4 colleges, but that will go into our Beaver Cares account, which helps students with like hotel vouchers, with Walmart gift cards for food and some other items. So pretty cool, pretty stoked about that. Let's see, there's a couple mental health events that the CLD is putting on next week. There's yoga, and there's one other one I'm totally blanking out. I'll put the dates here in the chat when I'm done. There's a lot on my plate right now, I'm sorry, but I will put that information in the chat, and I'll also forward you the email. So it has all the Zoom links and everything if you want to participate in that. It's totally free. We've contracted vendors to lead workshops and classes, so it's pretty cool. So those start next week. Let's see, your next meeting is January 22nd. So like Naomi said, you can have committee meetings in between that time. If the board feels there's a need, an emergency for a special meeting, you can also do that. What I've asked Naomi and Mark is just to let me know as far advanced as possible so that I can try to be there. But you're more than welcome to have those meetings if you wish. If you need a break, your committee needs a break, that's fine too. So other than that, we've had some preliminary, like what school will look like when we come back discussions. Nothing obviously set because we don't know what the world's going to look like in a couple months. But start thinking about what you might want to see as student leaders for when school does reopen, right? And we are allowed to come back on campus, what that might look like for you and what ideas you may have, because it won't be the same as normal, right? We can't just go back on and, like our president said yesterday, flip a switch and everything's back to how it used to be. It just won't, that's our reality. So if you have ideas about that, please let me know or Naomi know, or bring it to this board's attention. And with that, the last thing, I'm gonna end it on a positive note. Today is the first day of the Maui Pro, which is a big surf tournament in Maui. This is the women's competition today. So the 4-time champ Carissa Moore is back out on the waves. I'm a huge surf junkie, if you don't know that. So if you get bored later today and you want to peep that out, I'll put that in the chat too. So with that, I turn it back over to Naomi. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Brett's office, I know since a lot of you weren't in Student Senate before, he has a ton of surf memorabilia on his walls. So surf junkies, right? Okay, moving on to public comment. This time is reserved for members of the public to address the Student Senate on issues not already appearing on the agenda. A limit of 2 minutes per speaker shall be observed with a maximum of 4 minutes per topic. No discussion is allotted on public comment. The law does not permit any action to be taken or extended discussion of any items not on the agenda. The ASB Student Senate may briefly respond to statements made for questions posed. However, for further information, please contact the ASB Student Senate President for the item of discussion to be placed on a future agenda. I had that half memorized. Okay, is there anyone from the public who wishes to make a comment? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, we will move on to appointments and swearing in. And we do have an appointment today. We have Zach Ebby, who has served on the last 2 with student impression panels, the presidential one and the vice presidential one. So that's how we contact him. And you're also was vice president of Research Club, right? Treasurer of Research Club. He will be sworn in today as our Director of Finance. And I cannot for the life of me find the script for our swearing in.
So I have it. I'm trying to copy and paste it. I'm having some tech issues with all the things going on my computer right now. So if you want, Naomi, I could read it if you're okay with that.
Oh, yeah, that is fine with me. Go ahead.
Okay, Zach, you're gonna have to unmute yourself here. Actually, Naomi, you have to, you should introduce Zach, and then the board actually has opportunities to ask him
questions. So I said a little bit already about Zach, kind of how we met him, some other stuff he's doing on campus. So if you guys want to ask Zach some questions, I will say that he did have a meeting with me already. So he's got some of the questions, but you guys obviously want to ask him anything, now's your time.
Chair.
Okay, Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, Zach, why would you like to join Senate in the first place?
I want to help. I want to get in there. I want to actually get involved in, like, I guess, like the student body, like behind the scene, like, 1 second. It's still early for me. I would like to I
The
would
behind
like,
the scenes.
yeah, behind the scenes, like get behind the scenes, like actually help, like with the student body, like getting their voice heard, like what in any other capacity I can help, really.
Okay.
Chair.
Okay, thank you, Nick. Jacob, I see your mic unmuted, so I'm gonna say you have a question.
Yeah. What led you to choose director of finance?
It's kind of, well, I believe it was the position that was open, and I'm like, if it's how I can help, I'm down. Like,
Yeah, I will say that part of that was at my urging, just because we cannot really have our joint budget committee meetings without having that director of finance position. So I have kind of, like I said, nudged a little bit. So part of that was on my part.
oh, definitely.
But you are the treasurer of finance, treasurer of finance, treasurer of research club. So we talked a little bit about what some of that, what is involved with that position. And Stacy, I think I saw you unmute. So do you also have a question?
I do, Chair. Thank you.
Go ahead.
So Zach, I was just wondering if maybe at your discretion, if you could perhaps share an experience of leadership. And I mean this very broadly, because leadership is sometimes being a peer and reaching out and helping somebody else, like a lab partner. So if you could just think of any experience that would, help everyone here get to know you and your intention a little better, I think maybe that would help all of us.
Let me think. There's been really a few different instances in which I've helped, like, I don't want to say I spearheaded a study group or two, but there was one a while ago when I took intro to AMP, when like we basically had like this big study group. It was like 6 or 8 people, I think, like 6 or 7 maybe. That was really good. Mostly, and it was, a lot of it was because we really didn't have, like, a study group wasn't forming very quickly or easily with that class. And it was just, I'm like, well, why not? Like, I was working with someone else, a classmate for that class that was actually really skilled at doing event planning. She's like magic. I don't know how she does it. But yeah, no, that was actually a really good one. More recently, we had a class project for zoology. We had to do a presentation on non-random mating, which so with that, I kind of took charge or made myself de facto leader without really like meaning, well, kind of meaning to, kind of not meaning to, and just sort of keeping things on the ball and helping everyone else out in the group. It was like whenever they had questions, I'm like, shoot, I got time. Like, I'm not worried. I might know the answer. If I don't, I could point you in the direction of someone who might know it better. I'm trying to think of something else.
Thank you so much, Zach.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Zach today? Or Zach, is there anything else you would like to share to the board? It's okay. Don't feel pressured.
Yeah. Okay. Well, nothing I can think of as of right this second, but I'm sure I'll probably think of something at some point. It takes a second.
There.
Sasha, yeah, go
Oh.
ahead.
Zach, do you have any planned projects you want to see, or any like events or anything, like any idea you have for the Senate for this upcoming, well, this is the last meeting, but next year.
Next semester.
Yeah. That's a good question, and I've been thinking, but I don't know. I don't have a solid idea just yet.
I know that for a lot of members, especially ones that were last semester, part of being in Student Senate is reaching that inspiration. It's reaching that larger student body, which helps inspire you basically to create what you want to do in Student Senate. So it's a good opportunity that way. And I will also urge you, anybody who hasn't joined the Discord, please join it, because that's, we're trying to get that further student reach there. So that would also be an opportunity to get that inspiration in that remote setting. Okay, I am looking at the chat. Sorry, guys. Okay. So if there are no other questions, or Zach, if there's nothing else you want to share.
Oh, I actually saw a comment. Like, I don't know if have I actually? I don't think I actually put it in my name on here at all about pronouns. I hadn't put anything on there, but that's completely open. I don't really. It doesn't bother me. Like, nothing. Like, any of them works. That's fine.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Zach, for answering our questions. We're gonna try to get this meeting continuing. So Brett, I know, or if you have the script or I don't know, statement of script. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking completely in theater terms today. So
yeah, the oath here. It's
oath. My God.
It's in the Senate bylaws. It's on page 13 for anyone who wants to know for future reference. All right, Zach, you ready? You're just going to repeat after me, okay?
Okay.
All right. I state your name.
I, Zachary Eby.
Do hereby solemnly swear.
Do hereby solemnly swear.
To uphold the Los Rios Community College District.
To uphold the Los Rios Community College District.
Policies and regulations.
Policies and regulations.
The American River College.
The American River College.
Associated Student Body Constitution.
Associated Student Body Constitution.
And Student Senate bylaws.
And Student Senate bylaws.
And to perform.
All
my duties stated herein.
All my duties stated herein.
There you go. Congratulations.
Congrats, Zach.
Naomi, sorry. Zach, at some point, you and I, and maybe Naomi, will meet, give you a crash course, not only on the budgets, as I mentioned, but go over some resources that we have for board members, kind of what your day-to-day responsibilities may look like. We'll get into that later, but
okay.
For now, welcome and thank you, Naomi.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Zach. Welcome to Student Senate. Okay, with that, we will move on to unfinished business. We have no unfinished business, so we're going to move on to new business. And our first item under new business is the app builder. And Mark will be presenting on this. Is Mark still in the meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking at this. I'm thinking, oh no, where did Mark go? Okay. Mark, you are free to take it away. Start.
All right, awesome. So can I go ahead and share my screen, or do I need access from you?
Oh, I'm going to check. The past few times it wasn't on yet, so let me see. Does it say
Disabled? That's what it says right now.
okay. Oh. Oh no, I'm not seeing it this time. Normally I see where I can go to change that, but I'm not seeing that this time.
Yeah, it's weird because when I click on it, it just says host disabled participants.
Okay, hang on. I think I found it. No, that's not it. Normally I see it in their settings here, but I do not see it this time. Mark, can you exit and then join again? Does anybody know if he can join with the same account? Like if we can have two? No, I didn't think so, but I was like, I'm gonna check. Okay, maybe I can make you a co-host.
Are you sure he cannot? Because remember how we
they don't
we had that other one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. That's I remember us doing it. I'm gonna say make host. Mark, I'm changing you to the host temporarily.
Okay, here we go. All right. Awesome. Can everybody see my screen?
I can.
All good. Awesome. Cool, guys. So I just want to talk to you guys real quick about an opportunity that was presented not only to CAEB, but to the Los Rios district and several other colleges. It's called App Builder U. So I have a little PowerPoint real quick that I basically want to talk about. App Builder U basically is a turnkey app for student government. The main thing is our objective is to increase student engagement, right? Is to reach out to our fellow students. If students are trying to reach out to us as senators or other main directives, then we have to. I have this app that was presented to me called Turnkey. Sorry, there was somebody behind me while I was trying to leave real quick. So the problem for student government right now, student engagement is at an all-time low. There's three main primary things. One is for hard students to stay connected to their student leaders. Two, few students visit your site, the website, and know everything that we're doing for them. Number three, in-person events, office hours, and meetings are all on Zoom. The solution to bridge this gap right now would be create some virtual events like scavenger hunts and win some prizes. There's over 200 plus amazing coupons on money saving things for students, right? On this app, not only does it shows these discounts, but it also shows what we as student government is doing for our students. So that's an easy way for us to stay connected and also to get student feedback. So ABU will custom design your app, right? Like I just mentioned, it will load over 200 plus discounts and publish it. Basically what they do is they're copying and pasting everything off the website into an app, such as our agendas and minutes, our executive board bios, social media, and our events calendars. The reason why I am obsessed with ABU is because we want to reach out to our students, right? That's our main focus. So ABU is making that pretty easy to do. I can show you real quick right here. So this is a quick view of what the ABU is. It'll also show events calendars. They can direct message students, assign tasks, everything basically like Discord, but not, it's in an app, but this has a lot more features. Some analytics reports, which is pretty cool to have. Let me see. Victor Valley College actually did a case study. They're one of the first ones to actually have this app. They did 1,000 downloads in 72 hours, 12,000 page views in 72 hours, which was amazing. They also did a scavenger hunt, which what it was is 300 students completed a 10-minute question scavenger hunt that require them to find like info like who is the ASB president to win prizes. I've downloaded the Victor Valley College app and I've like went through front to back to find any flaws, and I really haven't been able to find any. There's some stories what Victor Valley is saying about the app. Basically, like I said, it allows them to stay connected to the college and the student government. It was easy to manage. Here's the top 5 benefits for the student government. One is to increase engagement, like I was talking about, right? Financial aid to help students save money because everybody wants to save money. We are college students and we definitely need to save money on any opportunity we can. So here's the pricing real quick on it. I know that everybody's going to look at this and they're like, holy cow, that's a lot of money. It really isn't. I've done some research to find out about how much it would cost to do apps and to create apps. It costs anywhere between over $20,000 to $30,000 for somebody to host and to create an app. So this company is offering us a pretty good discounted rate. And I got some more information that I'll send out to everybody, but I just wanted to bring this to the attention of Student Senate. So that way, if they had any questions right now, I can answer them. But I just wanted to get your guys' feedback to kind of, and just hope you guys understand it. So if there's any questions, I would love to.
Yeah. So Mark, the proposal, is it to have an ARC? So I'm kind of lost on this issue. Is it an ARC app or Los Rios? Because I know that the other boards are talking about this too.
Yeah, so this can be a Los Rios district app, but it can be customized for each college. So say one app, right? They download when they first sign in, they're going to choose their college. If when the student signs up and downloads the app, it can go ARC or they can choose CRC, or if they even have, if like say if a student is in 2 different colleges, they can actually have access to both of both colleges section on the app.
So yeah, so I'm asking that partly because would that would be like one payment option, right? We're not paying for each. It wouldn't be like each college has to pay for their own app.
That's if the district got it, but if the district didn't get the app, then each college can get the app. So then this would basically, this price right here is if they broke it down per college. Does that answer?
Sure, I have a.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So the first one is one of the statistics was looking kind of confusing to me. It said that there is 1,000 downloads and 12,000 page views. Is that claiming that for every download there is 12 page views? Like
every
download
looks at
12 times? Is that what it's saying?
Say that again, Jacob.
So it said, so the page is on the app, and it said there is what 12 right there. You just passed it. Yeah, right there.
Right here.
Well, nah. All right. Anyway, it says 1,000 downloads and 12,000 page views right there.
Yeah.
Passed again. So what? So that means that the people that download it were just looking at the page a ton of times in a row, or?
I don't know if it was 12 times in a row, but if so, the 1,000 downloads within the week, it could have been different pages, different coupon views. That's probably how they got the analytics on it when it says 12,000 page views. So it's 5,000 coupon page views in 1 week.
Okay,
if that's what you're referring to.
And so, I have heard of this, and I had heard some concerns from the other colleges, and basically from what I'm seeing, it wants us to get this app for our constituents, and it would be what 5,000 one-time payments, then 500 in ongoing costs. Does that say per month?
Correct. It's a setup. The $4,995 is the setup that converts from the website to the app, publishes the app in the App Store, Google Play, and such. Provides us with marketing materials to promote the app to the students.
My concern my
is
concern is we'd be paying $11,000 this first year, then $6,000 a year for this app. And I just don't see how this would be much different than, say, Discord or our website or our Instagram or any of the other things we've been doing. I guess it's more, direct, like they can't go look at other stuff, but I just don't see a real, I don't see how this would be much different to justify the $11,000 first year cost and $6,000 in ongoing costs.
okay.
That's, I guess, my concern.
Yeah. So, Chair, do you mind if I answer that real quick?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Mark? Did you guys hear me? I said, okay, Mark, are you, okay, Mark, are you muted perhaps?
Mark's not muted. It's just we just can't hear anything.
Okay.
It's the connection or something.
Okay. Well, okay, I'm going to take this time while Mark tries to figure that out. I don't know if you guys saw on the Discord server, but there were other concerns brought up about this app, just because they weren't straightforward as to how they were creating this. It seems like they are outsourcing the actual creation of the app to a different company, but have not actually made that clear from the get-go. So I know there were concerns at the other colleges brought up about that and like the trustworthiness of the the company, the ABU.
That brings up another thing for me.
I don't know if we want to wait for Mark to get back on here or not, because.
Okay, well, I'm just saying if that's the case and they're outsourcing it, then what's stopping us from undercutting them and finding whoever they outsource to and getting it for a whole heck of a lot cheaper? Because $11,000 in first time costs, that's a bit much for me.
Chair?
Stacy, yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to voice some of the comments that I've put in the chat to make sure that they're appropriately on the record. I just wanted to say that I'm very interested in this idea. I had no idea that this was going on, so clearly I need to be paying more attention in the Discord. But I don't think we necessarily need to spend this much money or that we need to outsource with a private company. I don't know enough about what goes on at Design Hub, and so I'm really looking at Sasha right now. But I know that Design Hub does some things that really blow me away, like virtual reality of tours of the new STEM building and app development with drones and all kinds of things that are pretty shocking. And I'm not sure people know happen right on our campus. And it also provides student jobs. So I think we could maybe advocate for students in a whole lot of ways if we just work a little closer to home.
I think honestly that sounds really awesome. I love it when we can actually involve some of the community in like the actual, our community in what we're doing. So if we did reach out to the Design Hub and talk about this, I think that would be preferable.
Awesome. Chair, I'm back. I don't know what happened with the connection.
So we were discussing the potential of instead of using this company, using the same idea but reaching out to the Design Hub on campus.
I would absolutely love that. Keep it internal. If the Design Hub could come up with an app that offered basically even remotely close to what this app can do, I'm all for that. I'm definitely not trying to take it from Design Hub or take it from internal. But if they could create an app to increase student engagement and stuff like that, I'm all for it.
Okay. I also, another thing I want to bring up. So something that Jacob had mentioned, there are other services that we have been starting this semester. We started using Instagram more, we started our own website, we started our own Discord. These all take work to manage. Okay, right now, I have, there have been like a handful of people managing them together, and it is a lot of work. We're not paid to do any of this. So I have concerns about adding another service on top of that, as well as the necessity of adding another service when we already have these other services. And while this app does seem to have some other features, I'm not sure if they're all, I mean, I question how necessary they are with the other services that we're offering right now.
Chair, may I respond?
Go ahead.
So the thing about the app is it wouldn't require for a student to upload it or to change it or anything like that. It's all done by that company. So whatever is basically on the website is what would be on the app. So if, like, say you or myself, we upload on the website, they automatically take it from the website, the agendas, the minutes and such, and automatically convert it to the app. So it's not like another role that we have to play or we have to upload or update or anything like that. That's something that we wouldn't have to do. That's if we wanted to go that route. From my understanding from App Builder U is that can be done, but like you were stating, that's adding another role, that's adding another job task and such. I'm all for Discord. I'm loving it. But it's how are we going to engage with our students with Discord? Are we going to send out invites and have them join our Discord channel? So I'm just trying to figure out that my main focus as CAEB is student engagement. So it's like, so what can we do, or what program or outreach can we use to fulfill that obligation? A lot of students, even myself, they're not going to go to a website and look at a website and try to search, or they're going to download an app. If there's an app for it, I mean, I'm speaking out just from my personal belief. If there's an app for it, I'm going to download the app. So that's, yeah.
Well, I mean, Discord has, and
Sure.
Sasha, yeah, go ahead.
So I have a few points to make. Number one, so Design Hub is kind of really busy working with the welding department right now. We're really focusing on like getting the welding department virtual, and that's kind of like where all the programmers are right now. So I think if we do want to go down that route, but I have some things to say about the app. If we do want to go that route, it's going to be kind of hard to squish it into the Design Hub because they're really like focused right now on getting welding. Like that's their main objective for this year, basically. The second point I want to make is I think adding an additional app would be too much. I think we already have so much, and I think I kind of like working with what we have right now. I think students might get overwhelmed with another thing and another website and another campus. It's too much. And yes, boiling it down just to an app is in theory good, but would people really use it? Like, I don't know. That's like the hard cut, because like I think we can imagine that students will, but I think Discord is really, really popular. I think it really kicks with the students, and if we can just maybe over the winter break, I can work with you, Naomi, and we can really like launch it in a sense during January, like when we come back for next semester, and really make it like a important focal point and maybe make advertisements for it. So instead of going on the app route, we can really like upgrade our Discord and make it like a really cool central place. So then that's how we can engage with students, because students really all are on that. And so we can just work with it and really make it better, and then people will come towards it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Discord is pretty popular. I would see that that's a benefit since it's already being used. It's easier for students to already continue using a service that they're more familiar with. I also think that since we have it, it's just adding another thing there is whether or not it requires maintenance, it's just another thing we have to learn. And I want us to focus right now on what we have right now so we can improve those services rather than it's like quality over quantity kind of is where I'm thinking right now. So I think the app is not really a bad idea, but I think that is potentially something that can happen in the future once we've had a more solid following on the Discord.
Awesome.
Mark,
Thank
if you want
for
to say
your time.
anything.
No, thank you for at least allowing me to share it. I really appreciate it. And like I said, if the design hub or other resources, if we can create something like that, that'd be awesome. So thank you.
So this discussion, it's recorded, it's in the meeting minutes. There's nothing keeping future boards from revisiting this issue.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, is there any discussion on this issue? Any further discussion? Okay, it doesn't look like it. So with that, we're gonna move on to our next item under new business. Sorry, I forgot, I couldn't print out the agenda. Normally I have it, but I'm kind of using it on my phone right now. I don't usually do this and prepared, but okay. And so that next item under new business is, we're actually not going to be able to discuss it today. So that's the Placerville moniker change support resolution. So we will be moving that to a future meeting, whenever that future meeting is. So moving on to lobbying 101. So Mark, I'm going to need you to change the server host, the Zoom host back to myself.
It should be, because I'm not. It's not allowing me to do anything. So when I
Okay,
getting
that
kicked
works.
off and
Perfect.
then joining back on.
Okay, and I am going to share screen, hopefully, if this works. I'm also going to stop video, because the last time I shared screen, it froze and it was not a very flattering picture. So I'm going to just freeze. Okay. If someone can let me know that they see this, that would be great.
Good.
Great. Okay, and you can still see this, the screen.
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, so lobbying 101. As you guys all probably know by now, or hopefully, I hope you guys know. If I didn't inform you, then that is on me. I'm so sorry then. We will be having a Los Rios lobbying day, February 16th next semester. And the topic is financial aid reform, Cal Grant and financial aid reform. And we will be getting more information. There's another student advisory committee special meeting that's going to be on there. So, as I get more information, I will definitely be letting you guys know. So the purpose of this presentation is really to try to get you guys familiarized with some of the lobbying practices and more comfortable with it. We have some, lobbying veterans here, people that have lobbied with us in the past or have done it on their own or in different organizations. And I hope this helps you too, but this is mostly for people who have not lobbied before. Okay, so I think it's split, the presentation is split up into a few different areas. There's like a before the meeting section, during the meeting section, there's a brief overview. There's an after the meeting section. And then I have a small video here that it goes over some of the same steps, and then they actually give you a sample of a lobby meeting in progress. And then after that, we have like a really brief, our own little script that you guys probably heard Brett talking about how he was practicing his method acting. And that's also just because we have that, since the format is kind of different from the other sample. For people that have lobbied with Los Rios before, some of the stuff that we're trying to do is new that we haven't done last semester. So like, don't, just heads up. Okay, I'm gonna start this. Okay. Prepare for your meeting. Review and assign roles. Review your message with your team to make sure you're all in agreement and decide who will say what. I think last semester when we did this, we weren't Like we didn't have formal roles, but we did discuss kind of just like a very vague sense of who was going to be speaking on what issue. And I thought it was very helpful. It definitely kept the meeting more on track. Have one person to serve as a facilitator who will be in charge of keeping the meeting on track. We had this kind of unofficially in some of our groups, but I think having an official facilitator is definitely helpful, especially when we did our impression panels. That was another helpful manner, and I think that can be translated to this setting. Another person should listen carefully, paying attention to how the group's messages are being received and what officials have to say. At least one person should take notes. We did not require that last time, and I do not think we'll be requiring it this time, but we are highly recommending it. Craft your message. Write down your message ahead of time. Draft a practice sheet that includes the important points and strongest arguments you want to make in every meeting, as well as what you want to ask. Always helpful, always helpful. Include a personal story if you're comfortable with sharing. It's not required, but it is definitely helpful. Since this is going to be virtual, we don't know the details yet, but this would require our own lobbying groups to kind of set up a Zoom time to meet outside of this stuff, so you guys could practice together. Okay, practice. Say your message out loud at least once. It's possible to, if possible, trying to practice with your lobbying group, like I said, over some impromptu Zoom. And then make sure that each member's team has the chance to offer their input. So like a peer review kind of thing, always helpful. I think that's all I have for before the meeting. So this would be general tips during your meeting for a successful meeting. Be on time, but keep in mind that things in the legislative offices are they're very last minute. So you got to be flexible, because you might have an appointment set that needs to be moved to a different location or a different person or a different time. So always, try to be flexible with that. By the way, for people that have lobbied in the past, if you guys want to jump in and say anything, that's totally fine too. Okay, intros are important. Don't forget to explain where you're from, why you're here, what organization you represent, so LRCCD, Student Senate, ASB, student body, that thing. What issue you want to cover. Again, we're having one that we'll talk about more. We'll give you more information on that. And then take a card. Not required, but it is generally helpful for you personally and for the organization if we're trying to make lobby meetings in the future again, which we are. Assess what they know. Officials and staff won't always tell you if they don't know what you're talking about. So it's important to assess their knowledge level at the beginning of the meeting. Asking outright is totally fine. Policy expert might not have a good understanding of how people are affected by an issue. So again, that's where your personal story comes into place.
Chair?
Nick, go ahead.
One more thing to that. Usually, like last year, we met mostly with the staff members, not with the representatives themselves. So staff members mostly don't know exactly what we're talking about. So it's really important to just give some background information on what the bills we're lobbying for, what they do. And so last year, for example, we met one guy we were lobbying for SB 291, right? It was essentially more covering more financial FAFSA, essentially. And he knew about FAFSA, and he asked about that, and he's like, well, is it not enough? And we had to explain to him why FAFSA is not enough and what the bill we're lobbying for actually does. So it's just good to be generally knowledgeable for what you're lobbying actually for, and have some personal examples of people, or even your stories of how you were affected and why it's important for you.
So one thing that will be different this semester is that we are not lobbying on a specific bill. We are lobbying on a general topic, which in some respects really makes it harder because we don't have that same concrete connection that we do with the bill. We don't, it's all feels a little bit more abstract coming into it.
Sure.
Jacob, go ahead.
So the topic is financial aid reform, right?
Yes.
So wouldn't we just be, are we lobbying like in support of the Cal Grant reforms that are going to be put forward by the California Student Aid Commission Cal Grant work group, or what are we exactly doing here?
I believe that's something that we are discussing at this. We have a meeting this weekend, the presidents from the different campuses with Tony. And I believe, the topic is lobby day. So we're going to be discussing like more in detail stuff during that time. So I'll have more information. Sorry?
I said, could you send me the agenda for that?
Can I send you the agenda? If I do get an agenda, then I will send it to you.
All right.
Sure.
All right, cool.
Nick?
So at this moment, we don't have exactly what we're lobbying for. We have like a general sense. But if it's going to be a bill or a resolution or what exactly is going to be, but will we know it later? Will you guys decide upon it, or is it just like to be?
So we are not going to be lobbying on a bill or resolution. We know that for sure. We are lobbying on a general topic, but I don't know if we're lobbying on a specific movement. Like if there's a political movement right now to reform Cal Grant, and we discuss like what has been done on that, whether it wouldn't be a bill, but I honestly do not have that information right now. And I wish I did, but I don't have it at this time, and I will definitely keep you guys apprised.
Chair, one more question.
Yeah.
So before we proceed, so usually lobbying is done for, like, there is a call for action. Let's call it this way. And what's our call for action going to be? So what do we actually want from those people? Do they need to vote in a particular way, or what are we exactly trying to achieve here?
It's just support for reforming the Cal Grant and whatever. I'm assuming we're going with Cal Grant, right? So
yeah,
that's financial aid
at this point too.
Well, yeah,
right.
I got that, but support
in what way? A call to support whatever bill is put forward by the California Student Aid Commission. Sorry.
So,
okay, we're going to save all questions for later. I'm going to go ahead with the presentation for now. So this actually kind of transitions pretty well with what Nick was saying. Don't forget your ask. Again, it's a little ambiguous at this point, but you will get more information, more solid information later on. Always ask for their support. If it sounds like they're not going to support you, even ask, but especially ask if it does sound like they do, because it's not always accurate. If they sound like they do, it may not indicate really where they're headed. Ask a direct question. It's always a good idea. You may not want to push for an immediate yes or no answer if they're not ready to commit, but you should find out where they aren't ready to commit and what information you can get from them. Okay. Let them talk and listen carefully. A lot of times at these meetings, it's really easy to just want to kind of dominate the whole session with, this is what we want, this is my experience. And that's all something you do want to mention during your meeting. That's definitely going to be a part of it. But you also want to give the official the chance to talk about what they have been doing and where they stand on the issues, or ask questions. Give them time to do that. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know. they will ask you questions. Well, okay, I can't guarantee that they will, but in the past we have had these staff members ask you questions, and just say if you don't know the answer, admit it. It's always better to be honest in these situations, but it also gives you a chance and the opportunity. It gives you a chance to follow up in the future. You can say, I don't know at this time, but I can research this and get back to you. And it's a great way to keep the communication lines open for the future. Take notes. Mention that, not required, but generally helpful. This year, what we're going to be trying to do, what I'm pushing for us to try to do right now, but hasn't been set either, is to have a kind of, how did I say, after the meeting analysis report, so we can kind of see where we were at in these different meetings, and that will help you there. So during your meetings, making your case, come prepared with facts, appeal to reason and common sense, always important. We will try to get you that some background information when we're closer to the lobby day, but you are always welcome to do your own research as well. Appeal to ideology, try to connect the issues to the official's political philosophy. So if that official's political philosophy is like, they're fiscally conservative and they're all about that, try to connect it back. That doesn't mean to stretch the truth, because, in some cases it's just not going to fit, and don't try to stretch it that much. Appeal to self-interest. Bring it back to how it will help the official's district or political interest. But caution is recommended on this issue, because you don't want to, it's a touchy subject for politicians when it comes to whether they're all only interested in self-interest, they're only interested in helping themselves. So it's a touchy subject, so I would recommend caution in how you approach that. Obviously, never lie, never make a threat, and don't make things personal. Being passionate is fine, and definitely with the personal stories is a necessary element, but make sure to keep things professional. After the meeting, so I touched on a little bit of this, fill out the report forms ASAP. So we will try to get that to you this year. I'm working on creating those, and I'm hoping that we are going to adopt that as a general practice. So I'll try to send that to you with PDF and Word after that's hopefully agreed upon. Evaluate your meeting with your team. We did unofficially do this, but if we haven't, we'd have to set up more an official evaluation time this year, since we'd be meeting over Zoom. But give feedback on what was effective and what was confusing during these meetings, especially after the first few meetings. That way you can do better in your next few.
Chair.
Nick, go ahead.
Regarding evaluation, that's so important. I can't even emphasize how much. Last year, so we had, I think we had 2 groups, right?
We had 2 groups, yeah.
And each group met with what, 4, 5, 6 people? I mean,
I believe it was around 3 to 4. 3
to 4, whatever. And first ones, because we didn't have any experience, the first ones were, I can't say wacky, but they were not they were not really what we expected them to be. All right, so after them, we just talked about what went wrong or what went right, and we immediately fixed our mistakes, and the next one was much better, and the next one was even better, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, our last one with Ken Cooley, that was pretty good. The Ken Cooley's office. Yes,
exactly. So just talking to your group partners is so important. There's nothing personal about that. You're trying to achieve same goal, right? So any feedback, any method of making it more effective would be so helpful. It's really underrated how much it's helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed. Thank you, Nick. So this point, keeping communication lines open. Mentioned it already. If you promise to get back with information, follow up. Last year, we also sent thank you notes. Thank you, Jacob. That was his work that he mostly did on that. So it's a great way to keep in touch and keep the communication lines open, especially since these lobby days are going to keep happening year after year, ideally. Summary. So this is just a brief overview of different points that were made here. Make a connection. Tell your story, listen and learn. Again, you don't dominate the conversation, and then leave with something. Try to get a commitment for something. This is easier, obviously, when you have an actual bill that you're lobbying on. A little bit more difficult with, the ambiguity that's set right now. Hopefully that will be cleared more, or just an action or information, or at least a general understanding of where the congressperson stands on this issue that you're lobbying about. Always helpful. And then here is that short video that has pretty much the same information that much of the same information I do, and then a brief demonstration. And I am going to start, I think, hopefully. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Can you guys hear it?
Yeah. All right, so I'm really excited you're going to be lobbying on behalf of the world's poor, and today we've set up a little mock session here. I'm going to walk you through what that typically looks like, lobbying.
Oh, shoot, sorry guys. Yeah, I'm just not going to touch it.
All right, so I'm really excited you're going to be lobbying on behalf of the world's poor, and today we've set up a little mock session here. I'm going to walk you through what that typically looks like. Lobbying is one of those things most people are very intimidated by doing, but it's really pretty easy and straightforward, and I'm going to kind of walk you through the process and what to expect. So we've arrived at the office of your congressional leader, and you pretty much walk up to the front desk. There'll be someone at the front desk, and you say, "Hey, I'm Clint with the Borgen Project. I'm here to see Julie Zhang."
All right, Mr. Borgen, if you want to follow me right over here.
Thank you.
Have a seat, and Julie will be right with you.
Perfect, thanks. All right, so now I'm just hanging out in the lobby, and typically this might last for anywhere from a couple minutes to 10 minutes. And this is usually where I'm just kind of doing my last minute homework on the bill or what we're building support for. So I might have my background sheet here on the Electrify Africa Act, kind of looking through it, or just kind of getting ready, doing a little last minute preparation. But yeah, this is where you earn your title as a lobbyist, just hanging out in the lobby. That's kind of where the word comes from. And then pretty soon, Julie Zhang will come out and will take me back to the conference room to discuss the organization issues with her.
Hi, Clint Borgen.
Yep, very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you as
Appreciate
well.
taking the time, Julie.
Follow me this way.
Thank you. So when you're first walking back with the staffer or the congressional leader, that's actually like a really good time to start building rapport. And for a lot of these staffers, they're meeting with lots of different groups, and some come in with very hostile energy, and others are very friendly. So it's important to kind of instantly start shooting the breeze and establish rapport, and it's just a good opportunity to let them know that you're here in peace, and it's going to be one of those fun meetings and not one of the hostile meetings. So with that, then you'll just kind of grab your seat, and the meeting will kind of get going, get rolling. Julie, how long have you been with the Congresswoman?
I've been working with her for about 3 years.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Have you always been out of the district office, or have you been back in D.C.?
I've been back in D.C. a little bit.
Okay, nice. Well, hey, I appreciate you taking the time to discuss the organization. And I don't know how familiar you are with the Borgen Project, but basically we're a national campaign, and we're working to improve the United States' response to the global poverty crisis. So we're nonpartisan, and we don't accept government funding as well. But we're really just kind of looking to build support in Congress for ways that make the U.S. more effective with existing aid dollars, as long as building awareness of certain programs that tend to be extra effective, and really building support for those as well.
That's interesting.
So a couple things we like to go over in these meetings is just the national security reasons for addressing poverty, along with the economic reasons. So for the staff and the congressional leaders, they really need to know why the U.S. should be doing it, and in particular how they can communicate that back to people in their district. So if you're a congressional leader and you're going out to these town hall meetings all the time, every town hall meeting you go to, there's always that person raising their voice and raising their hand and saying they're against the U.S. doing any sort of foreign aid. So for these members of Congress and their staff, it's also really important for them to hear talking points on why addressing global poverty is in the strategic interest of the United States. So A part of it is we're educating them about those reasons, but it's also, for the staff that might be inclined to be on board with this. A lot of times they have political realities in their district where it makes it really tough for them to actually support this. So you're kind of both educating them and then giving them the talking points for if it's a staffer, if they go and meet with the congressional leader and explain about the meeting, or if it's the congressional leader when they start to support these bills and issues, they need to be able to communicate to their constituents and why they are doing that. Yeah, so it's an interesting time period. You have all the top business leaders. I got a list here of some of the top companies ranging from Lanza Lake, Caterpillar, John Deere, and they're all kind of saying the same thing.
I'm going to skip this part, just he goes more over information, and we don't need to know this because we're not part of his company,
very much
so we don't need to know his exact role.
The other one that gets quite a bit more attention, and this might be on your office's radar as well, is just the national United States needs to be doing more to improve conditions for the world's poor. And what they're finding is you look at some of the poorest countries on has come to power. We've been learning that enabled Al-Qaeda to operate freely, and the Taliban was actively growing and
yeah, he goes on for a while about that. Sorry.
In exchange for them. We need to be improving conditions for the world's poor. It's in our national security. In the Obama administration, they talk about development as being a key component of protecting the United States. The instability that is creating a lot of because for these leaders and the staffers, it's all about getting them engaged in these issues and aware of why it matters. So whether their ideology matches up with addressing global poverty, for most that are typically against this issue, they are very in favor of economics, growing the U.S. economy and addressing national security. So the more you can kind of connect that link for them, that's where we see really good results overall. So this part of the meeting, I switch over to the why we're here part, and I'll start talking about a specific bill and ask them to co-sponsor that bill. So the bill is the Electrify Africa Act that I'd love to go over with you, and it was just introduced in Congress 2 months ago, and the whole idea is improving Africa's power grid.
What is the CBO score?
Now she just asked a question that I have absolutely no idea the answer to, and that's fine because you'll get those periodically. But the main thing is to be upfront and honest and let them know that you're not sure, because she has to report back to the Congresswoman and let her know the answer to those questions. So in these situations, I just usually go with something to this effect. I'm not sure the answer to that, but I'll let you know and get back to you tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll go through and present the bill and kind of just outline some key points of it. You don't have to spend a lot of time on the bill, believe it or not. It's just kind of giving them the basic overview of it, and then you'll hop into making the ask, and this is the part where it looks something like this. So this is a bill that's going to help 30 million people, so obviously it's something that we need to do. So I'm here to ask the Congresswoman to support it and make sure our district is well represented in Congress on this issue.
Okay, we'll take a look at it.
Okay, great. When would be a good time to follow up with you?
Probably in about a week.
Okay. So it's really important that you ask her when you'll be a good time to follow up with her, because the whole deal is they get a lot of people coming in their office and bringing up different causes and issues. They're very busy. If they don't think they'll ever hear from you again, they will just put it in the basket and not worry about it. If they're expecting you to follow up with them, then they know it's something they need to pay attention to because they'll be hearing from you shortly. So always ask when a good time to follow up with them would be, because that kind of plants the seed in the staffer's mind that this person cares a lot about this issue and they'll be following up with them. So, but that's pretty much all there is to these meetings.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing once I figure out how. There you go. Okay. So I hope that was helpful for you. It's obviously, oh, I don't know what's happening. Okay, hang on. I just got a weird pop-up message, sorry. So obviously that's different from how our meetings will look like. We're with multiple people there on a specific bill. That's not really how our lobby day will really look this year. So I wrote a little script that Mark and Brett and Jacob and Nick have agreed to read. And hopefully that will look a little bit more like how our lobby meetings should look this year. Obviously it's a little shortened, but I hope it helps. And if you guys could take that over, that would be great.
All right. Awesome. So you want me to go ahead and fire off?
Yeah, no, that's fine. You go
All
ahead.
right. Hello, my name is Mark, and this is Jacob and Nick. We are student senators from American River College here today with Los Rios Community College District. First, we want to acknowledge how busy you are and how appreciative we are that you are meeting with us today.
Well, it's great to see you, especially as students are so engaged in the political process. I understand as students, you also have some pretty busy schedules, and I'm happy to meet with you all today over Zoom.
Thank you, Brett. So understanding how busy you are, let's get started. Again, my name is Mark, and I'm a constituent of the Assemblywoman Presley, and I am concerned about the state of the world today, especially in regard to climate change. I want to be a part of helping to save our planet.
Well, I'm glad to hear where you're coming from on this issue. You may not know this, but I staff the congressperson spot on the Assembly's Committee for Environmental Safety and Toxic Materials, and I'm very active in efforts to combat climate change. And I'm very glad to hear that you're all passionate about this topic and taking efforts to spread awareness and action on this topic.
Thank you for the kind words. Yes, we have heard some of Assemblywoman Presley's work and on climate change and admire her bipartisan efforts on combating this crisis. This crisis is very personal for many of us, and we would like to share why the issue is important to us, if you don't mind.
I would love to hear about how this issue has affected you all.
Thank you. Jacob, if you would like to start us off.
Yes, thank you, Mark and Brett. My name is Jacob Couch, and as Marcus said, I'm here to share some of my own experience with climate change and why I think we need to take stronger actions to combat it, and to hear what Assemblywoman Priestley is taking to address this constituent concerns. I have been involved in efforts to combat climate change for a long time now. I always try to take whatever small steps I can to reduce my carbon footprint. ARC in much of California has been pretty good in supporting these same efforts, but it's not enough. On climatetracker.org, the US is marked as critically insufficient. According to Pew Research, the US falls below the global median level of concern about climate change. We're not doing enough as a country because we do not care enough about climate change as a country. Assemblywoman Priestley represents this district. Concern about this crisis needs to go all the way up to the federal level. We will be meeting with staffers from Senator Harris and Feinstein, but this has to be fought at all levels.
Thank you for sharing, Jacob. Those statistics are deeply troubling.
Nick, would you like to share anything here?
Yes, thank you. As a parent, I worry about how climate change will affect future generations. And I'm angry. I'm angry that my generation has left the planet in this state. I'm angry because we know what the problem is, and hell, we even have some solutions. Sorry, but we don't individually act on these solutions. The government needs to lead these efforts. It needs to promote climate awareness. It hasn't done that effectively. And moreover, we have moved in the other direction, even withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accord. As Jacob said, this crisis needs to be tackled from all directions. The responsibility is not solely in the federal government or individuals. California has done more to combat climate change than most of the states, but as a model for others, our state needs to do more.
Thank you for both sharing your stories here today. And Nick, congratulations on being a parent.
We are curious today about some of the other work an Assemblywoman has done to help the state government combat climate change.
The Assemblywoman, besides serving on the Committee for Environmental Safety and Toxic Materials, also sits on the Joint Legislative Committee on Climate Change Policies. That's where most of the Assemblywoman's work on climate change is done.
Thank you.
Thank you all again for being here today. Before we wrap this meeting up, do you know where exactly the US is ranked globally in terms of climate change performance?
We do not have that information right now, but we would be happy to find that out and report back to you.
That would be great. Here is my business card. Thank you again for coming to speak with us today.
Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule. When might be a good time to get to you on this issue?
Well, because of coronavirus, we are currently limited as to what work we can do. I'd say the best time would be in about 2 months.
Okay, thank you.
Have a nice day, y'all.
You too.
So thank you guys for reading that. Again, yeah, congrats, Nick, on becoming a parent. We are limited on our time. But yeah, so that's just a basic idea of what of what a lobby day meeting would look like. So congrats, guys.
Can I slap in a few quick comments?
You go ahead. We're limited on time. I know, Brett, you have to leave at 12.
Yeah,
so,
I got it too.
Yeah, so we're gonna actually we're gonna cut board meeting reports and committee reports, unfortunately. But if you guys have any committee reports or board reports, you know, feel free to message that in the Discord server. Okay, so you're free to do that. Okay, go ahead, Jacob.
So just as a few little things, obviously that is not exactly how it'll go because we'll have a lot more time and things will be a little bit different. But so say we're doing a group of 4, the way that, we generally tried to do it last year and that most other people go is, so you'll have the one facilitator who will have, the most broad job. So as the facilitator, it would probably be someone who is comfortable speaking and having the conversation with whoever the staffer or the legislator. And basically you would just want to start things off, give a little bit of overview, talk about what you're supporting. And once you get into what you're supporting for the why part, you want to pass it off to your first person with a personal story. You want to let them tell their story and why it's important to them and how it's affected them. And then you want to then help transition that, give a little bit more facts, and then back to the second person to really drive home another personal story. And then maybe you want to throw in, depending on what works in the flow of your group, you also want to work in the fourth person at some point, which would be someone who would give the more nuanced data facts and stuff like that. And so it's really just kind of working it in and just having a casual conversation. And the facilitator obviously just facilitates that. So it goes pretty smooth as long as you just remember they're, regular people just like us. And it's just like having a conversation and talking about something that's important to you. So it's really not that stressful once you get into it. I would definitely say the first 1 or 2 are probably the most stressful. And then you realize, oh, I'm literally just having a conversation with someone.
Sometimes those conversations will just be in the hallway and they won't have room inside their, since their offices are pretty small. We had a few that were just in the hallway outside of the office. So you'll have people passing by all the time. Pretty much just a conversation.
That does remind me of one other thing. You will get some harder questions at times, and you just got to be ready for those and prepared to deal with them. One example is we were out in the hallway dealing with Kevin McCarthy. Is that who it was? Do you remember?
Oh no, Kevin Kiley, right?
Kevin Kiley, yeah. And for those of you who don't know, that's the guy that represents the Folsom EDH area. So he was a Republican, and his staffer was sitting there, and we start giving our talk about Cal Grant reform and how we need more. And the first question off the bat was, I thought all community college students lived at home with their parents. I know we all know that's not the case. That was a really hard question that caught a lot of people off guard. And so it's you got to be prepared for questions like that, especially if you're dealing with a more conservative member. But just be prepared, and it's just a casual conversation, but you might get a couple hard questions.
Yeah, thank you, Jacob. Nick, we have 2 minutes, so if you can make it really, really quick.
Anyway, the conversation in real life is not going to be scripted. So as Jacob said, expect some unexpected questions, even though you don't expect them. Last year, the guy asked us if, I thought FAFSA covered everything. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I supposed to explain that? It doesn't. Well, but yeah, you have to be prepared and informed in all of the aspects. So be.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Nick. Obviously, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to message any of us, put it in the Discord channel so everybody can actually see the answers. Skipping committee reports and board member reports, again, that will be Discord. Moving on to public comment. This time is reserved for members of the public to address the Student Senate on issues not already appearing on the agenda. A limit of 2 minutes per speaker shall be observed with a maximum of 4 minutes per topic. No discussion is allotted on public comment. The law does not permit any action to be taken nor extended discussion of any items not on the agenda. The ASB Student Senate may briefly respond to statements made for questions posed. However, for further information, please contact the ASB Student Senate President for the item of discussion to be placed on a future agenda. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to make a comment? Okay, hearing and seeing none, we're going to move on to adjournment. This meeting will be adjourned at 11:59 a.m. Woo. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, y'all. Have a great break, everyone. See y'all.
Oh, you too.
You too, guys.
Keep in touch,
Okay,
guys.
Did you see my
All right, y'all. Stay safe. Jacob, I'm going to follow up with you on that, on what you just posted. I have some questions, so I'll email you later about it.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. All right, y'all.
Oh, hang on. I'm going to stop recording.